here we go. Can't give up now. Stretches, stretches, stretches. Get the stretches on. Oh, man. Moving kind of slow at the junction. It looks worse. I swear it looks worse on camera. And then when I watch it on YouTube, it looks even different there. So I can look at it from my perspective, and it looks really good. And then I look on the camera, I'm like, oh, it looks really like little ridge line of red up and down. And then when I get it on to YouTube, I'm like, looks even more. It looks different yet still, but it feels fine. It is interesting. Like in the morning, I'll wake up and maybe my arm flops out to the side or something, and it's like, oh, it's like a stretch. All of a sudden, it's extended, full extension. It's been flexed all night, and then it extends. And ooh, is that something bad? Not really. Basically, it's just like a good little stretch, and then it feels normal. It makes me realize what perhaps the doctor is sort of saying. Akazuki was saying, don't do anything too fast. You can lift anything. You can try and lift anything you can lift, but do it slow and steady. And it's like, man, that habit, the like quick chops and stuff. Like I still kind of wonder if I'm even allowed to ball up a piece of paper and throw it, or a can of soda or a bottle or something and chuck it. That throwing action is fast, right? So, but it's also like it's a throwing action, so it's not exactly the motions he was talking about when I did it. But we'll see. I think I'm looking at the mindset for the evening and the general layout of stuff, and I think get in and we'll do a probably later tonight around 9 or 10 my time. Get a Final Fight LNS video up, the tip video, for people who want to play on the higher difficulties. I have a feeling that's coming. I've been playing a little bit of the original Ori and the Will and the Wisp, Ori and the Blind Forest. I think the first one's Will of the Wisp. Amazing. Like, I'd heard the game was very pretty, and I had heard it was like an interesting game and all this crap, and I threw it in because I'd heard all this and like from trusted sources. I chucked it in and was like, holy shit. It's certain things really get to me in storytelling. I would say if CD was watching this, he could probably take a guess at Cats in the Cradle and the Silver Spoon. He could probably guess that as something we and him have talked about before. But I would also say certain intros to the Pixar movies have a tendency to get some good emotion out of me. Particularly Up. The beginning of Up was just so sad because it was like, here's this happy couple that like literally makes me sad like this second talking about it. This is brutal. They have something, they managed to hit that kind of a note in the intro to Ori, because it's like there are good times and then it's bad and you're like, whoa, and it's very small and personal. There's not a lot of people involved. I think a lot of times storytelling, they keep escalating, raising the stakes, but I mean it in a larger sense, in that the escalation is whoever's involved pushing the problem to a worldwide scale and being like, now it's more important. And it's like, well, what you're looking for, like this emotional connection, so it doesn't have to be the world. It can just be like two people, it doesn't have to be this huge thing. So it doesn't have to involve the world being destroyed. I want to unfairly, because I haven't sat down and really like analyzed them, but I've watched several, but not all of the like Transformers, like Michael Bay films, and I feel like those have that problem of like they include like this huge cast of characters and the world's gonna get destroyed. It's like, well, that can be a consequence of some smaller event that you're participating in. It doesn't have to be like, we need to stop it. Why? Because the world's going to end. Like, we're going to stop it because this war is ongoing. These people you care about are going to die, and stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, what a hell of a challenge to just decide that one of the characters can't speak. This robot can only communicate by twisting the knobs on the radio station and saying words that happen to be playing. Fuck, how are you supposed to? You can do it, but man, that's a challenge. I hope somebody likes this Camaro that can't talk and is a robot and isn't a person. It is kind of jokey and the stakes are so high. It's almost like they're forcing you. You have to care. The world's going to get destroyed, man. There's people out there who would rather the world was destroyed. Brutal shit. Um, we got our Eternal Darkness going. Hopefully, we'll get another one of those recorded on Saturday. Keep that train rolling. Once I get that LNS video up, I'd like to do a Streets of Rage fan made remake video of Turkle and I doing some max play. It's really interesting to go back to that game now after playing Final Fight. It's just the Final Fight LNS plays a little faster, and it is like meaner. It's quicker, meaner. Like they let you jump up and down the planes with like the up tap up or down to move up and down the screen in a little hop, but that hop isn't invincible, and it is in like Streets of Rage games. Well, the rules change, but it is in that game. And I never, it's because you was actually valuable, like truly valuable to hop up and down the screen in the Final Fight game. That when I bounced over to the Streets of Rage remake and played it for a little bit, I was doing it just naturally. Like, let me hop up the screen, and it's a roll. It's very similar, but it's invincible in that game. So I'm like, oh wow, this habit now has become even more valuable and works more efficiently than it ever did. And I was never pushed to play it. That's what I often talk about with people. I talk about how I basically think games they generally push themselves to be too hard. And it doesn't necessarily mean that a game can't be hard, but I want it to be accessible, and I want the difficulty to push you to engage with the mechanics of the game. So it's really interesting when a game you can play through it on like easy or normal and completely ignore some mechanic that then becomes like key to surviving a harder difficulty. There's a little bit of that in the Final Fight game because they give you like 10 credits and 20 lives and all this crap to beat like the easy mode, and then when you step it up one little bit, they're like, you get no lives, like you can no longer take damage other than a pizza or a soda's worth of recovery here and there, or leveling up. You could say that it's kind of there. Some I'd say maybe the old like WWE wrestling games, they would you need to learn how to like counter, like to time your button press to reverse a grapple and stuff on the higher difficulties, or the enemies would start reversing, and then you need to know the timing to reverse reversals. So if something can encourage you that way, that's generally like pretty good if the difficulty ramp exists. That game also just pulls like mechanical bullshit in the Final Fight. Like the bosses start doing their like super attacks like all the time. I don't even know. It was questionable whether they're even regenerating or thinking at all. Like there's any checks or bounces behind the screen. I think they just do it when they feel like it. 'Cause I've seen them do about 3 in a row. I think there's some soft limit of like, well, you've done 3 in the last like 30 seconds. You got to wait a little bit to do another one. But I don't know about that. Depending on what level they consider the bosses to be, maybe they have like 400 mana, and whatever recovery they consider the bosses to have. Maybe they're recovering like 10 a second or something. Who fucking knows? It wouldn't make it any less bullshit, but it would at least be codified. And be like, oh, that's the rules you're fucking me by. Cool. That's a thing too, right? Like, is he breaking the rules? No. Are the rules bullshit? Yes. Doesn't, we don't have to immediately, there should be a progression in the logic between this is bullshit and the rules are bullshit. Maybe it's bullshit because they're straight up ignoring the rules, or there's different rules for different people. So like work your way through those logics instead of just being like, this is crap. Like, well, yeah, it is crap. Why is it crap? And is it crap? Was the crap chosen because it's like easier to program the game? And is that crap? I don't know. You go fucking program the game. Workout's done. We got to move into the new routine. But it involves like a standing workout, this like uppercut set that I can't do it here. I would have to start move maybe back to the kitchen setup we had before, and it involves a standing lifting of weights. I think those will be a lot easier than they are at the PT, where we have like 10, 20 pounds doubled up on each arm. So I'm literally, my arms are shaking by the end of it. Here I don't even have that weight. I would probably be using 2 4-ish pound weights to do them. So if I can get into the routine of doing that, it would be good. The full body workout, she says, but she doesn't. I don't think she really acknowledges that I go for like a 3 to 4 mile walk every day. So if it's just the legs getting involved, they call it a full body. Then it's like, well, the legs are getting a workout. So I don't want to second guess her. I want to do what my routine says, and that routine would also knock out the wrist exercises that I generally do off screen down here. So I think the videos would land a little longer. And I'd probably want to like cut out the sort of rambly part I'm doing here at the end. It's amazing. We could have come in under 10 if we were just doing the workout, and if I was cutting out any amount of talking. So hopefully we'll get Eternal Darkness up. We'll get a Final Fight up. We'll get a Streets of Rage going. Ori is amazing. I'm playing it with my wife because it's a beautiful game, a cute game. The story was compelling. I think the story's going to drop off now as we start playing the game, but not entirely. We have still had some story beats coming up, so maybe I'll do some of that for the site. Show it to a friend and just play it for a little bit, or like just play through the intro and a little bit of the first level to be like, this is Ori, fucking check it out. It's a fucking old game. It had a sequels. It's like people know it's good, but I'm saying it's good to our older viewers out there. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully get all that done.